Let's do it. Has to be decided tonight, remember. If it's level after 90, it's extra time. Level after that penalty, it's great save!
Littlewoods, supporters of the FA Cup.
Becker with a shot. Oh, it's a terrific goal. Well, he had a couple of sights early doors. Well, he hadn't missed this one. 35 minutes got it out well. And David Beckham has silenced his passionate South Yorkshire crowd.
Good afternoon. The Littlewood-sponsored FA Cup is taking centre stage. It's the 6th round, all of the quarter-finals, if you know. Manchester United, after they surprised all odds to beat Barnsley in the last round, I hear, and they were playing Newcastle United, and it's a change from our build game, and it's a huge game for Newcastle United and Manchester United. Alongside me tonight is Trevor Venables, and we're going to get all his views and reaction from the game, but first and foremost, I guess it's time for us to head down to St James's Park, which itself is slightly gloomy. It could rain during the course of the match. A massive game for both of these sides, so let's go ahead and join your commentator for this one. It's Trev Tilsley.
Welcome to the Battle of the Uniteds here at St James's Park. Hosts Newcastle are looking to reach a first FA Cup semi-final since they were losing finalists way back in 1974. Malcolm MacDonald was the hero that day. Perhaps local boy Alan Shearer will be the man making history 24 years on. Manchester United are aiming for an unprecedented treble. Alex Ferguson's team battled their way past Barnsley after a replay in the last round, and today is sure to be another stiff test for the Red Devils. There's no place in Newcastle's starting lineup for ex-Manchester United winger Keith Gillespie. Number 9, Alan Shearer, nearly joined today's opponents 18 months ago. He'll be partnered by John Barnes this afternoon. Ferguson has juggled his pack, meaning starts for David May, Brian McClare, Phil Neville, and perhaps most notably, Raymond van der Houw in goal. The locals need no introduction to Andy Cole. Dennis Irwin wears the armband for the visitors today. Plenty of international and domestic experience on show, but for Newcastle, uncharted territory is potentially just 90 minutes away. The hosts get the quarter-final tie underway here on a misty afternoon on Tyneside. There's been plenty of talk in the last week or so about Newcastle's cup failures in recent years, but Kenny Dalglish's team have a real opportunity to make themselves heroes now. And Pistone plays it inside to Batty. Newcastle starting on the front foot. Ketspire, Shearer on the edge, gets his shot away, and it's held by Van der Houw. Alan Shearer with the first shot of the afternoon. St James's Park sold out and being treated to an open start. Gary Neville for Manchester United on the right wing, plays it into Cole, headed away, and Rob Lee can move upfield for the hosts. Shearer, Barnes, couldn't play it back to Shearer, and Manchester United enjoy a spell of possession. Here's Phil Neville, inside to Irwin. Now Cole, back to Neville. Phil Neville, that is. It's up against Warren Barton. Advantage played by Graham Poll. It was Batty who came steaming in. Sure, the referee will want to revisit that. Gary Neville's ball in is headed away. And Pistone, the Italian, into Robert Lee, the England international. Well, Newcastle reached this round thanks to a 1-0 victory over Tranmere Rovers in the last round. Manchester United required a replay against Barnsley. Doesn't matter how you do it, if you reach the final and lift the cup, no one remembers the journey. It's all about getting your name on that silverware. And this is a throw-in, an attacking throw-in for Manchester United. First time the ball's gone out since Batty's challenge earlier. Good refereeing by Graham Poll. And it's a very early yellow card for Batty. No stranger to a booking. He's got to navigate the remaining 81 minutes on a tightrope. Interesting header away, that. Newcastle survived the danger. Poor layoff by Shearer. Manchester United back with possession through Gary Neville. Beckham. Solskjaer. Beckham now. Left-footed cross. Phil Neville's in the area, headed away. Comes to Nicky Butt and now Brian McClare. Irwin for Manchester United spreads the play to the right back Gary Neville. McClare, rare start for the Scotland international, and he was easily bullied off the ball there. Excellent atmosphere around the city today. St James's Park in the centre of Newcastle. Around 50,000 are in this wonderful arena. Cat Spire looking to get the home support off their seats. Batty. Now Pistone. Rob Lee making the run. And that's a foul by David Beckham, who, just like Batty before him, is shown a yellow card. That's two midfielders shown a booking by Graham Poll. And Warren Barton will take the set piece. 0-0 at St James's Park. Knocked down by Batty, cleared by Manchester United, and this is Andy Cole, the former Newcastle hero. His scoring record in these parts was wonderful. Beckham. And Given did not look comfortable there. He almost got caught underneath Beckham's cross. It's gone out for a corner. Beckham plays it short. Gary Neville headed away, and this is John Barnes, who has enjoyed plenty of wonderful moments against Manchester United in a Liverpool shirt. This is Cat Spire charging towards the penalty area. It's a good cross, and John Barnes got on the end of it, but it's gone over the crossbar. Good opening for Newcastle, but they couldn't test Van der Hauw. Beckham. Solskjaer. Sloppy by Gary Neville. And speed for Newcastle. Plays it inside to Rob Lee. Now Warren Barton, former Wimbledon right back. Batty. Cat Spire up against Irwin. His left-footed cross is wayward. Possession changing hands on a number of occasions so far. Neither team properly getting into a rhythm. Midway through the first half. No goals so far. Here's Andy Cole. Lays it back to Beckham. Cole again. Butt was screaming for the ball. Cole held on to it for too long, and Newcastle win back the ball. Rob Lee, Pistone, Barnes, lovely football by Newcastle. Speed, charging down the left touchline. Gets another chance to get this ball in. Opts to play it to Barnes. And now Pistone. Gary Speed. Pistone for Newcastle. Beckham's got to be careful, he's on a yellow card. Can't go charging in. And Solskjaer fires the ball away. 10 men behind the ball there, Manchester United. Very difficult for Newcastle to find a way beyond a resolute team. Barnes. Back to Lee. Now Pistone for Newcastle. Oh, it's a good ball in. Headed away by Ronnie Johnson. Comes back to Lee. One-way traffic at the moment. And Manchester United are let off the hook. It's a poor ball which has gone out for a throw-in. Alex Ferguson will be disappointed with the start his team have made. Really had an opportunity to test Shay Given in the Newcastle goal. Perhaps something will come from this attack though. Beckham plays it back to Gary Neville. Tries an audacious 1-2 with Beckham. And the ball drifts behind for a goal kick to Newcastle. Nikos Dabizas barely touched the ball in the opening half hour. An indication of how little Manchester United have been on the front foot so far. Newcastle have enjoyed plenty of possession. Not particularly damaging possession though. This is Barton looking to change that. Good ball in. Speed nearly got on the end of it. Solskjaer was back. He's done a lot of defending as the Norwegian. And to great effect too. But that has left Andy Cole incredibly isolated up front. There he is playing it back to the captain Irwin. He gets beyond Batty and plays it up towards Solskjaer. But because Cole had come deep looking for the ball, there was no one around Solskjaer, and Newcastle are able to mount another attack. Shearer! Goodness me! Well, we would have been looking at a goal of the century rather than a goal of the season winner there. Audacious effort, which ends up drifting yards wide of Van der Hau's left-hand post. Top marks for effort. Very few marks for execution from Alan Shearer. Gets Spire. 10 minutes until half-time. Batty, Lee, back to David Batty. Now Ket Spire, Barton. Drifts beyond Phil Neville. Ket Spire. Tamura Ket Spire, Gary Speed. Oh, that's a really good toe-in. Manchester United looked as though they were in trouble there. Batty for Newcastle. The Toon Army coming forwards, and there's John Barnes. Van der Hau falls on the ball rather comfortably. Newcastle have men in the box. Barnes' header just didn't quite drop for a teammate. Cole. Now Phil Neville. Irwin spreads it to Beckham. Does he want a free kick? He wants a free kick. Nothing doing, it's a throw in to Newcastle, according to the referee Graham Poll. Batty twice won the league championship with different teams. Never an FA Cup winner though. Would love to change that this year. This is Phil Neville for Manchester United. Andy Cole, McClare, Irwin. Once again he's looked to play the ball over to the right hand side. Solskjaer headed away, but Phil Neville plays it back to Brian McClare. Edged off the ball by Ket Spire, and Newcastle can charge forward towards the Gallowgate end. Free kick. Foul by Solskjaer. As we look at the replay, Robley getting between the ball and Solskjaer. There's no way through for the Norwegian. Free kick to the hosts. As we drift towards the interval. Not much doing in the way of chances. Plenty of endeavour. Most notably from the hosts, who've been charging towards the right hand side of your screen more often than we've seen the team in red go to the left. Van der Howe with the clearance upfield to Cole. Phil Neville. One final chance for Manchester United to get a shot on goal. They won't get a shot on goal in the half. It's 0-0 at the interval. Newcastle United enjoying the majority of possession in the first half. Both goalkeepers largely untroubled though. It's Newcastle United 0, Manchester United 0.
What's all that about? You should have hit the target, mate. Bicycle kick 20 grand a week.
Littlewoods, supporters of the FA Cup.
I don't know, he just doesn't seem to be able to control the ball, you know, and that's quite essential.
I've never seen you play like this. This is like you're like a bottom of the league club.
Littlewoods, supporters of the FA Cup.
Manchester United get the second half underway, and they'll be looking for much more in the way of attacking intent. Shay Given's gloves not dirty after the first half. He might be called into action early on here though. Irwin, Phil Neville, can he get a delivery in? Barton trying to stop him. Solskjaer. Oh, calls for penalty, or at least a foul. It was right on the edge of the penalty area. Graham Poll waves away Manchester United's protestations, and this is Shearer, who scored the winner in the last round. Solskjaer, Brian McClare for Manchester United is fouled by Rob Lee. Manchester United want to get on with it, and Nicky Butt gives the ball away. Really sloppy by Butt. A faster tempo already in the opening 5 minutes of the second half. This is Batty. Again, Manchester United get bodies behind the ball. Rob Lee. The skipper finds Gary Speed. Pistone. It's up against Solskjaer and Beckham. Clare can come forwards with the ball. And it's with Nicky Butt now. Now, the longer this game goes on, the reality of a replay does begin to creep in. Newcastle looking to reach a semi-final for the first time since 1974. As we have our first change of the afternoon, it's the old Manchester United man Keith Gillespie coming on for Gary Speed. He was up here a few weeks ago, and Gillespie changed the game against Leeds after coming on as a substitute. Will we see a similar impact today? Certainly a handy replacement, the Northern Ireland international. Part of the deal that saw Andy Cole go to Old Trafford, of course. That's Gillespie's first touch. Only able to flick it on to David May. Gillespie tries to find Shearer, but Ronnie Johnson is there. Switched on defending by Ronnie Johnson. Andy Cole tries to find Beckham, headed away. Now Gary Neville. Poor cross, really poor cross by Gary Neville. And now John Barnes. Shearer has got Katspire on his right, gives the ball away. Shearer not at the races so far. Had that early shot. Comfortable for Raymond van der Houw. We've not really seen much else from van der Houw or Shearer. Indeed. Beckham. What a lovely ball! And McClare nearly got on the end of it. Philip Neville. Now Butt. McClare. Beckham for Manchester United. Brian McClare! Brilliant save by Given. He's done nothing all afternoon, Shay Given, but when called upon he was there. McClare. Still going. Now Irwin. Oh, Given, great save! And Newcastle scramble the ball away. Shay Given twice called into action as Newcastle look to change things up front. It's the end of John Barnes' afternoon. John Dahl Thomason, his replacement. But a word on Shay Given, who twice pulled out. Exceptional reflexes to deny Manchester United. Brilliant goalkeeping from the Islands man. Really has been superb all season, Shay Given. And he may well have kept Newcastle in the FA Cup with those saves. What can his teammates do to try and propel Newcastle into the final four of this year's competition? Rob Lee. Now Gillespie. Shearer nearly on the end of it, but Ronnie Johnson again gets the better of Newcastle's number 9. Barton's corner. Headed away. Gillespie. No foul. And it's play forwards to Nicky Butt. Worth noting that Teddy Sheringham replaced Ole Gunnar Solskjaer just as Newcastle were taking the corner, and here is the substitute, Teddy Sheringham. Good ball in. But Cole unable to get on the end of it. In fact, Paul has brought it back. There's a foul on Sheringham. Yes, late tackle by Alessandro Pistone. He didn't like the decision. But it's a free kick in a decent position for Manchester United. Beckham to take. You know what he's like with deliveries from the right flank. Headed away. Only as far as Gary Neville. Now Butt. Sheringham. Beckham. Wins a corner for Manchester United. We've had 3 quarters of this contest. And it's Manchester United with a set piece. Beckham over the corner. McClare. Headed away by Newcastle. Lovely first time pass by May. Beckham. Sheringham's in the middle. Couldn't get on the end of it. But down to McClare, who has been really good in midfield this afternoon. Here he is again. Finds Irwin. Andy Cole. And now Newcastle break away. Oh, it's a poor pass by Thomason. If he'd found Shearer, it was 2-on-1 at the back. And as Manchester United look to avoid a replay, they are leaving themselves open defensively. Newcastle unable to exploit that gap on that occasion. Here's Batty. Thomason's in the middle, and Thomason has scored to put Newcastle within 20 minutes of an FA Cup semi-final. Shondal Thomason, the substitute, has headed Newcastle in front. It was a glorious delivery by Batty. Hung high in the air, and there was Thomason rising above Gary Neville to put the hosts one up. What a moment at St James's Park. Shondal Thomason, Newcastle's hero. Manchester United facing the prospect of an FA Cup exit, and their treble dreams departing at the same time. Here's Sheringham looking for an immediate response. It was McClare in the middle, and he couldn't quite get enough on his header to trouble Shay Given, who punts it upfield. And you feel like the final quarter of an hour may well be one-way traffic. Here's Andy Cole. Barton now. The Newcastle faithful beginning to dream. They are so close now to an FA Cup semi-final. The first one in a generation. But here's Sheringham. But Gary Neville has got time to deliver. Sheringham goes up. Punched away by Given. Comes to Phil Neville. Now McClare. Irwin. Lovely tackle by Batty. McClare. Good advantage played by Graham Poll. Manchester United knocking on the door. Here is McClare. Deflected wide. Corner kick. There was the advantage. There was a foul on McClare, who got up off the floor. His shot was on target. Good defending by Newcastle denies the Scotsman. Corner to Manchester United, who are beginning to run out of time to respond to that Thomason goal. Beckham's corner. Very poor. Gary Neville. McClare. Now Phil Neville. Good header away by Barton. It goes out for a Manchester United throw. And it's a throw of the dice by Alex Ferguson as Gary Neville departs. Michael Clegg, his replacement. We have 10 minutes to save Manchester United. Here he is. Left-footed delivery is blocked and goes out for a corner. Another corner for the visitors, to be taken by David Beckham once again. This has to be better than his last one. It's gone short. Clegg. No one was in the box really on the end of it. Nicky Butt. It's got Irwin charging forwards. Dennis Irwin strikes Rob Lee, I think it was. Newcastle will have to see out another corner. It was Pistone actually in the end. Brave defending by Newcastle. Beckham's corner then. Headed away. And Ketspire will get onto it. And a rare breather for Newcastle's defence. What can Ketspire do? He can keep possession and find Warren Barton. But well won back by McClare. It looked as though it was well won back. The referee disagrees, and ultimately it's his decision that matters. Very harsh on Brian McClare though. He was everywhere this afternoon. Could be in vain though. Could well be his final FA Cup appearance for Manchester United. But to Andy Cole, who is racing away now. Batty had to be careful, he was, and wins back possession for Newcastle. That's brilliant by Batty, who's been so cautious since that early yellow card. Newcastle 5 minutes away from an FA Cup semi-final here. And Maida, the hosts, know it. There is real tension in the stands. Andy Cole. Headed away once again by Newcastle and Ketspire. Shearer nearly got on the end of it. Well read by David May. McClare. Given away, and now Gillespie, the substitute. Shearer. Thomason for Newcastle. John Dahl Thomason. Now Ketspire. Newcastle just have to keep the ball now. They are almost there. Rob Lee. Howie, who has been a rock in defence. They've all been rocks in that back line. Gillespie. Newcastle seconds away, but Manchester United have one final attack now. Beckham. Phil Neville. And it's a sloppy pass that Dabizas is very grateful for. Kenny Dalglish urging the referee to blow his whistle. 50,000 Geordies urging the referee to blow his whistle. It's all over. Newcastle United, for the first time in 24 years, will play an FA Cup semi-final. It's the substitute John Dahl Thomason who has written himself into folklore by heading Newcastle into the Final Four of the 1998 FA Cup. Manchester United's treble dream is over. It's finished. Newcastle United 1, Manchester United 0.
That's it. That's it. He's going to take. He's taking the. Oh yes, yes. Go on. Oh, corner.
Littlewoods, supporters of the FA Cup.
Responsibility on his shoulders now. Facing England #1.
Littlewoods, supporters of the FA Cup.
Well, Newcastle United through to an FA Cup semi-final. Manchester United's season just goes from bad to worse for them. Behind in the European Cup, out of the FA Cup, a huge game coming up with Arsenal in the Premiership. Trevor, you was watching the match with me today. Trevor, I want to get your views on that game. Ultimately, Newcastle United probably deserved winners in the end. I'd say so. I think Man United have done what they can, particularly in Europe, but I don't think they had a lot left really today. It's a good performance ultimately. by Newcastle, but I think the changes made today were a big difference, and I think you've got to credit Kenny Dalglish on that respect. Gillespie made a massive difference, and he brought on Thomason that got the goal, and it's an old-fashioned sort of goal, so to speak, to stick a looping cross into the box, but it works. If it works, why wouldn't you do it? Well, you say that it worked, but it was not a player that's had the best of seasons that got the winning goal. But from your standpoint overall, you thought Man United's tactics once were off. It's not often we've criticised Alex Ferguson's tactics, but at the end of the day, I didn't think he's got it quite right today. Their defenders were more worried about Alan Shearer. Shearer didn't really get a chance to get involved in the game, but they weren't marking the second striker, and that's what it boils down to at the end of the day. They didn't expect Thomason to pose that sort of threat from that sort of cross. That's why they got the goal. Well, a reminder here, Manchester United are out here of the FA Cup. Will they stay in Europe? You can see the second leg from Old Trafford's Monaco, who lead 2-0 on aggregate for that game. For our next FA Cup game, we'll be heading to Villa Park for Arsenal versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. Could be a real massive game. Join us for that. But from all of us here on The Big Match, it's Newcastle United's big day, and they're semi-finalists in the FA Cup. Bye-bye.
What's all that about? You should have hit the target, mate. Bicycle kick 20 grand a week.
Littlewoods, supporters of the FA Cup.
Thank you for watching here this match on Trevor Sports. If you've liked it, please don't be afraid to like, share and subscribe to the channel. And if you do fancy it, head on over to the Ko-fi. The link is in the description. Buy me a coffee for all the hard work. Further on that, make sure you enjoy more games coming up.